You're carrying the burden Allah never gave you. And you're crying over, oh my God, Allah ने क्या जुल्म कर दिया मेरे ऊपर. और आयतें पढ़ते हो, अल्लाह किसी को उसकी वुसअत से ज़्यादा बोझ नहीं डालता. अल्लाह नहीं डालता, यह आपने खुद डाला हुआ है. इसलिए बोझ बर्दाश्त भी नहीं हो रहा आपसे. अमाल का दारोमदार नीयत पे है, नीयत का दारोमदार सोच पे है, सोच का दारोमदार माहौल पे है, और माहौल का दारोमदार एक सफ भर नहीं रही है. फजर की मस्जिदें क्यों बना रहे हो? बाकी की मस्जिदें बंद करना शुड बी योर प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव कि सबको इकट्ठा तो करो. पहले मस्जिद का फंक्शन ही नहीं पूरा हो रहा. एक बंदा काफी होता है पूरी दुनिया को वक्त डालने के लिए. एक चिंगारी कहीं से लग जाए कि किसी बंदे को क्लियर हो गई बात. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई फातिमा बिन्त मोहम्मद इज the epitome of identity of a woman. You need to understand, there's a big debate in scholarship. By the way, in Sunni scholarship, as to who was on higher ranks, Ali bin Abi Talib or Fatima bint Muhammad. Have you never asked this question? Because they were performing individually. Why did you ever not ask this question to your own self? The biggest torch in Islam in Ali bin Abi Talib. The torch of knowledge and courage, both of these things combined in one man. The Prophet said, oh Ali, you are my brother here and in the hereafter. Why are you worried? That's the rank no Sahabi got. He got it. And still, whenever scholarship writes, they say Fatima bint Muhammad is higher in ranks because of her performance. Imagine that. My Muslim woman is not performing as a Muslimah. Having babies is a gift of Allah Azza wa Jalla. A lot of women would want, and they're not going to have babies because of whatever is, going to happen medically or whatever. What are they going to do? They're still going to remain a performing Muslimah. Having babies is part of Allah's decree that you're going to have this sort of a mission. Get them into performance zones. Make sure they're not part of the mass. That's job one. They're thinkers. They're kids who are going to be searching and urging and yearning and earning for knowledge. That's how you come out of the mass. You go into the strugglers and then make them competent. That's our job, to make them competent in whatever field that we put them in. Higher standards of, understanding that knowledge set, be it science or be it, theology, be it, trade and craftsmanship or commerce. They better be the most competent people. That's a father's job. Once he goes into those competence zones, and that's something she cannot do anything about. We are the ones who are outside facing the winds. We need to get our sons with us, teach them. That's our core job. Schools are not going to give them that. I'm sorry. I don't. So once this cycle, and it's such an easy thing to do, less burden on the woman. You're carrying the burden Allah never gave you. And you're crying over, oh my God, Allah ने क्या जुल्म कर दिया मेरे ऊपर. और आयतें पढ़ते हो, अल्लाह किसी को उसकी वुसअत से ज़्यादा बोझ नहीं डालता. अल्लाह नहीं डालता, यह आपने खुद डाला हुआ है. इसलिए बोझ बर्दाश्त भी नहीं हो रहा आपसे. Islam is very simple. जो अल्लाह के उसूलों के ऊपर बोझ हैं, वो आपकी कैपेबिलिटी में पहले से है. जो बोझ आपने डाले हुए हैं, वो आपकी कैपेबिलिटी में नहीं हैं. That's why you're going to crack. And that's why you can't handle it. And hence, all the Muslim, especially Pakistani Indian kids, are confused babies running around, ricocheting from one wall to the other. Where's the path to follow? They're carrying burdens which Allah never even told us to carry. वो आयत नहीं पूरी उतरती फिर हमारे ऊपर. वो अल्लाह का बोझ नहीं है, वो हमारा पाकिस्तानी इंडियन बोझ है. You're at step one, which is the best step. The biggest step is step one. That first of all, I understand that I do not understand the bigger problem. I need to understand the bigger problem, how systems work. Okay, and that's a good question. That's the only real question Muslims should have. How do systems work? Okay, what kind of influences do I have on me which are making me do whatever I do in every single day's life? Okay, this is what you use the word, the beliefs. Okay, look at this. Whatever data I'm going to give you, or whoever gives you on YouTube or whatever, or a book that you read, that comes into your brain, your sensors get, to formulate that data, and then you start inferring the meaning of that data. Based on what? Based on your own memories, your deeper needs, your metadata, your books that you've read, people that you've spoken to, your parents in your whatever, early life. Whatever things that you created as a formula to make use of any data, you start inferring that meaning based out of this. And then you make that intent from that meaning. Okay? And then intent turns into action. But, आपका नाम क्या है? Umar sir. Our biases, whatever biases that we have based on our own childhood, family, culture, group or cult or whatever, that biases actually either negate or reinforce that data. So I'm going to use a lot of those biases that are sitting inside your brains already. I know where I'm going to be, tiptoeing around those biases ताकि आपको पता भी ना चले और आपकी biases इस्तेमाल. I'm going to be using those. Okay? I'm trained to manipulate. Okay? But you're not little kids. You're going to be doing a lot of challenging of your own. कि ठीक है मैं, he's making sense, but he's countering a lot of my deeper belief systems. You understand me? So I preemptively talk about those belief systems ताकि आपका वो challenge जो है ना वो friction में ना आ जाए. So from sensing to making intent to converting into action, because if you're not performing, which is the action, there's no point of coming together. Every single Friday you go to Friday sermons, nothing is changing. Nothing is, if anything, is going towards, worse the situation. The more religious we become, the worse our situations are becoming. Something else is going wrong. That's what I'm here to fix. Okay? So, amal ka daromadar kis pe hai? Okay. Hadith hai. Innamal amalu bin niyat. Or niyat ka daromadar kis pe hai? Really? अमाल का दारोमदार नियत पे है. नियत का दारोमदार किस पे है? नियत का दारोमदार आपकी सोच पे है. ओके? और सोच का दारोमदार किस पे है? बॉयज. नो. अमाल का दारोमदार नियत पे है. नियत का दारोमदार सोच पे है. सोच का दारोमदार माहौल पे है. ओके? और माहौल का दारोमदार पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम पे है. अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम नाउ? जिस सिस्टम में आप होंगे उस तरह का माहौल क्रिएट हो जाएगा नीचे. और जिस माहौल में होंगे उस तरह के बच्चे सोचना शुरू कर देंगे. जिस तरह के सोच होंगे उस तरह की नीयत बनेगी. जिस तरह की नीयत बनेगी उस तरह का एक्शन होगा. सी हाउ आई एम यूजिंग उर्दू फॉर दिस ताकि कोई कसर न रह जाए. That's how simple change is. The problem is people with the systems or controlling the system, they know this. और हम यहां पे अपनी नीयत का अचार डाल के बैठे हुए हैं. हमारी नीयत हमारे कंट्रोल में तब तक नहीं है जब तक सिस्टम हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है. सो अच्छे नीयत वाले मुसलमानों ने कुछ नहीं करना सिवाय और कैंसर बन जाएंगे हम. और हम अम्मियाँ कहती है ना बच्चे माहौल बड़ा ख़राब है इंग्लैंड का, बर्मिंघम का माहौल बड़ा ख़राब, चलो आओ गुजरात चलें वापस. ये माहौल, you need to understand where the mahal is. You need to set up the right human being to change that mahal. And now one boy is not going to be able to do it. Okay? The prophets, alayhi salam, use their companions as machines, as part of the machines. अकेले नहीं होने वाला ये काम. That's why we all need to come together. So उमर के बच्चों के नाम पूरे बर्मिंघम के मुसलमानों को पता होना चाहिए, and they would better be helping his kids. And you should know kids of, whoever is sitting here so that we can come in as a community. If you're not using that information for the right purpose, with the right resources, with the right intent, तो फिर आप और मैं एक दूसरे की गर्दन पे पैर रख रहे हैं. That's why I say convert masjid into a parliament house. If your masjid is not acting as a political center, this is not going to be able to do. इस तरह की conferences और seminars तो नहीं रोज होने ना, जुम्मा तो रोज हर जुम्मे को होता है, मस्जिद तो हर जगह पे है. What are we doing in England? We're opening masjids all over the place. That's the wrong way of looking at the masjid. And we're actually feeling so good. We know we contributed towards the biggest masjid in Birmingham, man. Instead, use one masjid in one city. Close everybody else so that everybody can come in together and get to see each other and get to see each other's kids. We need that data. कि साहिल के कितने बच्चे हैं, बर्मिंघम में किस स्ट्रीट में रहता है, वो कहां पे पढ़ रहे हैं, क्या काम है उसको, हमसे क्या काम है. That's the purpose of a masjid. Opening a masjid कि मुझे जन्नत में अल्लाह का घर बन गया, मेरे जन्नत में मेरा घर बन जाएगा. That's not how. जन्नत तक वो पहुंच नहीं सकेंगे हमारे बच्चे. दूर से घर देख रहे होंगे दोज़ख में चलते हुए और कह रहे होंगे मेरा डोमिसाइल जन्नत का है, मेरा डोमिसाइल जन्नत का है, ये देखो घर. और फरिश्ते पता है क्या बोल रहे होंगे, तो काम करना था ना. उधर भी इमिग्रेंट हो, इंग्लैंड में भी इमिग्रेंट थे, इधर भी इमिग्रेंट हो, जन्नती दोज़ख में फंसा हुआ है. Like literally you think, don't you see the sense in all of this? The concept of masjid was so that everybody can get data of everybody else, so I can help your kids, you can help mine. To grow into performance. So if one masjid does not fulfill the need, which means फजर की सफ, फजर की तमाम फजर की नमाज में पूरी मस्जिद नहीं भर रही, अगली मस्जिद नहीं खोलनी आपने. It is that simple. But we are not working as a community. And there's a reason for it. There is a reason why we're thinking like this. I'll show you how. अभी तक जो मैंने बातें की हैं, that make common sense. I'm not saying anything, oh, masjid jana haram. No, I'm telling you, if your masjid was servicing you and your kids, you would be sending your kids to masjid for other than prayers as well. That's why Sahabas were always in the masjid. All the decision making was done from Masjid al-Nabawi. By the way, all the political decision making, the social decision making was naturally done from the Masjid al-Nabawi. Why did the Sahabas not, open different Madine ke alag-alag jagahon mein masjidein khol rahe? No. They knew the purpose of the masjid. Distribute nahi karna Musalmanon ko. Ikattha karna hai masjid ne. पाकिस्तान में पता है एक गली में 3-3 मस्जिदें हो गई अब. और पता है हर बंदा बता रहा है मुझे, आई हैव फैमिली इन डेनमार्क एंड ये काट देना भाई, ठीक है. एवरी पाकिस्तानी इज फाइटिंग किसने कितनी मस्जिदें बनाई हैं. देखिए एक साफ भर नहीं रही है फजर की, मस्जिदें क्यों बना रहे हो. बाकी की मस्जिदें बंद करना शुड बी योर प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव कि सबको इकट्ठा तो करो पहले. मस्जिद का फंक्शन ही नहीं पूरा हो रहा. मैं डेनमार्क क्यों बता रहा हूं, द फर्स्ट मस्जिद विद द मीनार, विद द minaret, and I'm like, oh my God, really? First time I'm in Copenhagen and I'm there like, oh, you opened the first masjid with minaar. I went for the celebration as well and found out later कि वो मीनार बस आर्किटेक्चरल सिंपल है, अजान नहीं दे सकते. They didn't know कि मीनार का मकसद क्या है. That the tower is so that the sound of the azan can go farther. That's why it's a tower. But the azan is banned in Denmark. So without understanding the functions or basics, we're jumping into those little values and tiny little goals which have nothing to do with the actual belief of the Sahabi. Sahabas wouldn't be just laughing at us, they'd be really pissed off at us. Why are you making a mockery of Islam? Because kids will be confused into this new definition of Islam. इसलिए फिर एक जनरेशन के बाद वो सरकारें आती हैं और हम पकड़ के बरकतें ले रहे होते. Started somewhere else.